up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, as you can see by the thumbnail, I'm going to be comparing two of the what's considered worst airlines in the US, Frontier and Spirit. And thanks to my subscribers who were in the community tab, on the poll I put, would you rather fly Spirit, Frontier, drive, or walk? Let's go ahead and hop right into it. I'm going to do an overview for both airlines, and I'm going to compare the flight prices, the booking experience, their loyalty programs, of course, the flights from seating to food, drinks, and how check-in goes at the airport. I'm going to start off with Spirit. Spirit is known for not only having cheap flights, but their routes can take you to the Caribbean, Latin America, and of course, destinations across the US. I myself have flown Spirit to Haiti, Jamaica, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Miami, Dallas, like a lot of US cities as well. Those of you who have looked into my shorts, I did a video on how the safety of Spirit is going to make you comfortable flying. They have never had a crash with 0 fatalities. This is a newer airline. It has operated for about 30 years, but that is impressive. It is the larger airlines, the big three. When you have heard of fatalities or crashes, it would have been them. Even though those are still slim, Spirit, 0, zilch, nada, okay? Y'all better back off Spirit. Latest news has reporting, some of you have been noticed about the Boeing 737 planes, all of these issues going on, and you'll be happy to know that Spirit uses the Airbus 320s in their fleet, so you can fly safely knowing that you're not on Boeing. If you go to the airport, right to the gate agent at the counter, you can purchase your flight there. I did this one time just to see if it worked, and I was amazed. I think I got a $60 flight, and that's still very affordable. I can't remember if it was domestic or international, but I was able to save some dollars by directly purchasing from the counter. I do not know that you can do this with Frontier, so Spirit, 1-0 so far. I would say their website is easy to navigate, and you can join their loyalty program to get more perks as well. Looking at their flights, you're going to be able to find some cheap deals. Now, here are their fees. If you know and read the fine print up close, you guys, you're not going to be surprised with any fees when you get to the airport. Remember, this being an ultra-low carrier airline, you're going to have to pay extra for bags, seats, and of course, you have to pay for your food and drinks. I like to look at it as a way of customization, okay? You pay for what you get. At the end of the day, I was able to fly to all of those destinations on a budget. I don't need to have the best seat. However, Spirit has the big seat. If you've been watching some of my previous videos, I talked about to Puerto Rico and Miami. I was able to win the bid with Spirit, and I was in the front of the plane. I was in 1A. It was a fabulous experience. Frontier don't have that. Spirit's up 2-0, y'all. I'm saying. You can also bid to get the exit seat, which is going to allow you to have more leg room. A lot of passengers complain about Spirit seats, that they are uncomfortable. It's comparable to the seats that are at the airport, when you're waiting to board, and those don't have barely any padding, and it's just the hard metal for your arms. It's uncomfortable, right? So they're saying Spirit seats are like this. The seats do not recline. I kind of prefer this because I cannot stand when people in front of me are reclining that seat and they never pull it back up, especially if it's a long flight. Another tip, if you're going to be flying these low budget carriers, I would not recommend that you do this more than 4 hours. 4 hours or less is going to be the cutoff point. And that is where the tolerance is going to start to kick in. You're like, you know what? I'm tired about both of these airlines. 3 hours is even better. Now, where you see a lot of frustration in passengers is when they get to the airport with checking bags. I have told you guys in multiple videos that if you just are traveling with a personal item as your carry-on, you don't even have to go to the counter. You can just bypass all of this. It even says that on Spirit's site. If you have time, if you have flexibility, if you know how to pack everything into your personal item, of course, check the dimensions. I'm going to tell you, Spirit does not really check at the gate like Frontier does. You can download Spirit's app, or you can check in online. They're going to give you the mobile boarding pass. Make sure your phone is charged. And then when you get to the airport, you can just go straight to TSA, go straight to security. The only time that I am going to have to go into those lines before getting to security is if I am flying internationally. it said that I need to proceed to the gate for seat assignment, or, they need to check my passport. That has happened to me when I was going to go to Mexico. I believe it happened when I went to Colombia. They just needed to match my passport and do some verification. When that happens, that's a good time for you to discuss, maybe ask for, I wouldn't call this an upgrade, it is Spirit, but maybe to move further up. When I was checking into Colombia, the gate agent, she was saying, thank you so much for following the directions ahead of time, which makes it easier for me to check you in. It was a checkmate form that I had completed that she needed to make sure I had. And so in return, I was like, can you move me further up? Sometimes when you get these low budget flights, you are all the way back, like seat 25. Yes, this was in Miami, and I did have to go to the check-in counter, but it worked out in my favor. Spirit does have their flight bundles where you can buy a package. It's going to include checked bags. I think you would be able to board earlier. I am not sure. I have never purchased Spirit or Frontier's bundles, so I don't know about this. But you might want to check into their airline credit card and their loyalty program if you're trying to collect the miles. At the airport, for both of these airlines, they have kiosks so that you can avoid the check-in counter, whether you just need to print out your boarding pass. I was about to say, raise your hand if you were using paper boarding passes in 2024. I cannot remember the last time I used a paper boarding pass, y'all. I always use my phone for the mobile boarding pass. Maybe if you're a first-time traveler and you're just wanting to have the paper boarding pass as a memento. I just find it very interesting how people get frustrated about, oh, they charged me to print out this boarding pass and I had all these issues. Well, why didn't you just use a mobile boarding pass? It's so simple. Spirit is no different. If you are traveling with bags, you are not taking Janelle's advice, you do not have a personal item as your carry-on, and you did not book to pay for this ahead of time, you are going to be charged with the fees. They charge you at the counter, they're going to charge you at the gate, and it's going to progressively get higher. I'm going to say avoid all these fees, do it ahead of time, or just travel with a personal item. I do want to say that the future of Spirit is unclear right now, you guys. Remember when JetBlue and Spirit were going to merge? Well, that merge was blocked. The merge was blocked, stocks dropped. Are they going to go belly up? I am not sure what's going on with Spirit. Pilots are being furloughed. This is not good, y'all. I really like this airline, and I would like for it to stay in business. So we're just going to keep an eye on that, all right? I talked about booking. If you want to buy at the airport, you are free to do that. If you are checking in the night before up to your flight, I think it's 2 to 4 hours, try to get your mobile boarding pass. It's going to be smooth sailing. Bring a carry-on, a small backpack as your personal item. You're not even going to have to go to the check-in counter. If you were really able to get a cheap flight, you can pay a little bit to get an exit row seat, or even try to bid to pay for the big seat. I wouldn't pay outright for the big seat. It is amazing and lovely, but sometimes it can end up being the price or even more than what you paid for your flight. I like the bid up price. The most I paid for the big seat was $12, and that was all the way to Puerto Rico. Also, I'm going to say Spirit wins over Frontier when it comes to customer service. Hear me out. When you need to talk to a person and have that person on the other end, not just some robot, Spirit is going to have this covered. When I had my flight canceled back to the US from Mexico, I thought I was stranded. I was able to talk to the customer service agents through WhatsApp. That is amazing, just them having that set up for passengers in that type of situation. Do you want to know what happens when you are stranded in a foreign country? You were supposed to come home. What does the airline do? Even with these low budget airlines, Spirit gave me the option of refund the flight or put me in a resort because I was still in Cancun, and they would give me meal and of course the hotel voucher. This was for a night, but this was helpful because I had come to the airport. It was like 8 a.m. at Cancun airport, and this is when I found out. I was already packing at the Airbnb, so I wasn't paying attention to my phone. I took the audio bus back to Cancun, found out that my flight was canceled at the airport. So it's this group of us, and we're all like, oh man, we are stuck in Mexico. What do we do? So some people were like, no, I got to be back at work the next day. I don't have the flexibility for this. I need to reroute. That is another issue with these low budget carriers. They don't code share. You know, the big three, they can reroute you and find another way for you to get to your destination. With Spirit, you're going to have to wait for the next one, if there is one that day, or just buy a whole new flight on another airline. So that is a disadvantage that Spirit and Frontier, they don't code share. I picked to go to the resort because it's on Spirit. Like, this was y'all's mistake, not mine. And I was already messaging back and forth with the customer service agent. So again, thank you guys. I really enjoyed staying at the resort in Cancun on y'all's dime. I had the big seat. I like booking with them. They gave me a resort. I had food. I did not have to pay anything. It was for one night. This happened with Spirit. And no, it's not because, oh, she's some influencer that's going to badmouth us when her flight got canceled. It's not even like that. They're just a better airline. Please don't go belly up, Spirit. I need you. Food and drink. I don't really buy the food and drink on the low budget carriers. Maybe I've done it for Ryanair. With Spirit and Frontier, what I like to do is just ask them for hot water. I travel with my own bags of tea, usually from Trader Joe's. And I'm actually used to just drinking hot water from living in China. It's very relaxing, and one of my relaxation techniques before I board. Hot water is free. I've heard people complain that, man, you got to pay $10 for water. Either you bring your refillable water bottle. I'm not saying that they're going to fill that up with hot water. Be nice to the flight attendants. We can talk about the behavior of typical travelers who fly these airlines in a minute. For me, I was able to get hot water for free, and I drank my tea and relaxed on the Spirit flight. If I'm hungry because I'm vegetarian, I would just buy food at the airport before departing, or I would have already packed something from home, like, or just make sure that I have snacks readily available, because I'm not about to be nickel and dime over some cup of noodles or whatever Spirit has on their menu, y'all. It is time to talk about Frontier. When I first uploaded my Frontier video, this was the first long form video that I uploaded to the channel. And to this day, it still has the most views. So thank you guys for watching. Y'all's comments have me rolling. I'm going to read some of them right here. Somebody says, screw Frontier. Treat it like Bud Light. Another person said, it's an abomination. Join the class action lawsuit. You guys remember people were talking about this lawsuit. Has anything happened? Y'all know it can take a long time for this to go on. With Frontier, of course, they are going to have comparable routes like Spirit. You can fly them within the US and to a few international destinations. It's not going to be as many as Spirit's, though. I'm going to say Spirit has more flight options. I am going to say Spirit is more reliable. Frontier does not have a number for you to contact if there is a flight change, an issue with the booking, you need to do a name change. You cannot call anyone. That is so aggravating. What are y'all doing, Frontier? The only plus that I think Frontier has over Spirit is with the loyalty program, and that's only because I was reading NerdWallet in my research, and I saw that they said that their loyalty program kind of edged out on Spirit's as far as the priority perks. Also, I think Frontier has the better flight promotions with their Go Wild Pass. You get their summer pass. They have these different passes where you are able to fly unlimited. And this has worked for some people. I've read in the different travel groups that people were really enjoying that promotion. I don't think that Spirit has anything comparable. So Frontier, y'all are up on that. What are we, 4-2? The only point I'm going to give Frontier is for their loyalty program and for their flight bundles. That is it, the end. Another tip I would say is fly them West Coast. Man, okay, I'm going to give them a point on this because their flight was so cheap. I flew from Las Vegas to San Francisco for $20. I kid you not. It was the cheapest flight. It was one way. I only had a backpack as my personal item. This was before they started charging $99 at the gate. And that was the flight that I took where I met the people on the plane. And then when we landed in SFO, they offered to take me into the city. So shout out to them. I love giving y'all shout outs. Especially my subscribers and people who I've actually met in transits. And that all happened because of Frontier. So I will never forget that experience. And from San Francisco, I went to Emeryville to take the Amtrak California Zephyr. So it was like all of that experience, one of the best train trips I've had in my life, would not have happened had I not been on that Frontier flight. No, their seats didn't recline. I was able to talk to those people from Texas. What up, TX? Okay. It was enjoyable for me. There is no in-flight entertainment on either of these planes, Spirit or Frontier. I recommend what you would do, maybe download anything that you want to look at or read. Same thing, like I said, with Spirit. Use their mobile boarding pass, bypass checking in at the counter. Let me tell y'all about Frontier's main issue. They are going to catch you with the fees for real. I even watched, once I did that video and uploaded it to YouTube, the next time I flew Frontier, because yes, even though I did that video for y'all saying don't fly Frontier, I still flew it because I'm going to chase the cheapest deal, y'all. I can't remember what airport I was at, and I was like, you know what? Let me see how they are getting people for this. I see the gate agents, they go stand at their post, and they don't call everyone. It might be every third person. It might be a person who is mouthing off to them. You really don't know. It's so random. And then they're like, oh, hey, put your bag in the sizer. Someone said that their sizer is a few inches. If you look at the dimensions, Spirit and Frontier's is not the same. And they say that they specifically make Frontier smaller so that you can't even fit it in, and then you're going to be charged $99. And this is what outrages people, because it's like, that is a very sneaky tactic. I don't know if they're still doing this. I have not flown anywhere in 2024 since I decided to go full throttle with the channel. Y'all let me know in the comments if Frontier is still doing this. And maybe they never claim to have the same dimensions as Spirit, but I find it very interesting. Again, I have never been stopped for a bag to pay extra, not to my knowledge. They talking about a wild pass. Honey, this is wild. So remember how I was talking about with Spirit, I was able to communicate with someone for WhatsApp. You can also do social media too if you want things to really speed up. Do you know how much Frontier charges just for you to get airport assistance? $25. Craziness. There is no customer service number, and they're going to charge you at the gate. Now, with me, I'm always going to take a risk. I know if they try to pull some crazy stuff, I can consolidate the way that I bring my bags. I can put it under my jacket. I can make it look like I'm pregnant. I'm going to finesse these low budget airlines, and I'm trying to give y'all the tips so you can too and know what to look out for. Also, Frontier, if you end up stranded, you remember their hub is in Denver. Honey, you're just stuck at the airport. They're not going to give you meal vouchers, and they sure aren't going to give you a hotel. So Spirit has won in that regard. Frontier, I don't like the way that your trays are. They got these little tiny microscopic trays. I remember one time I was sitting down and I was like, I can't even fit my stuff on it. For real, for real. And I had it down, and the flight attendant was like, ma'am, we need all tray seats up. And I was like, this is not even going to make a difference. I obliged and put it up. Those tray seats are trash. Some people, they review the bathrooms. I like to board last so I can handle my business. I like to make sure that I get my refillable water bottle situated all before I board. I don't necessarily need to use the plain bathrooms, especially on Spirit and Frontier. But I haven't heard that the bathrooms are terrible on either one. I think they're tied in that regard. What's the score? Let me go ahead and say 4-3. So their promotions, their discount den, flight bundles, rewards, loyalty program, and then their cheap flights. Spirit, I was able to get cheap flights with y'all at the counter. I was able to sit in the big seat, and I won the bid. You guys gave me a resort when my flight was canceled. I didn't have to pay for meals. I just like y'all better. Like, this is Spirit. I'm always going to talk good about Spirit Airlines. And you guys actually have real people that I can communicate with when there is an incident. So that's 5. They got 5 on it. Hey, let's talk about the passengers, all right? Because the clientele for these low budget carriers is different for the most part if you are traveling the big 3. A lot of times, these are first time flyers. You're going to have families. You're going to have groups of friends who are probably traveling this airline for the first time. And it can go from 0 to 100 when they are charged at the gate. I've seen it. I really feel bad for these passengers because they didn't know, they didn't read the fine print, and it sucks. I'm not even gonna lie to you. On that particular flight, I was talking to people, so that was my entertainment. If you want free entertainment, fly on Spirit and Frontier. You're gonna see a lot of passengers. They might get into a fight. They might yell at a gate agent. So that is gonna be your entertainment. And all passengers aren't like that. I've never seen anyone go viral for a situation where they were overcharged and they got upset and was going back and forth with flight attendants. I've never seen that on a plane. And I've flown Spirit many, many routes, y'all. So y'all better stop talking about Spirit passengers. I'm on there and I don't act like that. This is America flying in 2024. Nowadays, it's not how it used to be. back in the 50s, if someone like me were to travel, I don't even know if I would be on the plane. I'll be honest. It might have been a better experience back then where people dressed up to fly. They were smoking on planes. I don't want to be around that either. But Black people, y'all know how it was. And overall, I'm not really thrilled with US Airlines anyways. Once you start flying these international airlines, y'all heard my review when I was talking about flying Korean Air, Emirates, Qatar Airways. Yeah, okay, Delta. Besides Delta, please. I am not thrilled with any of these US airlines. And yeah, it may be a little judgy. It is what it is. These people talk about, they love to badmouth Spirit and Frontier. Allegiant is another one. I've seen lots of cancellations with American, Southwest. Delta has had flight issues, where the plane had to do an emergency landing because of smoke. All of these airlines are going through it, y'all. Some of you picked in the poll that you want to walk rather than fly Frontier or Spirit. I get it. Each traveler is different. We all are going to have our preferences. For those of you who are coming to the channel and you're asking Janelle, which one would you pick, Spirit or Frontier? Baby, I'm going to pick Spirit every time because of the reasons that I just told you. As far as flight options, reliability, being able to speak to a customer service agent, food, drinks, seats, all of it, I think overall, Spirit is going to win over Frontier. There's no debate about it. Frontier, it is bare bones airline. Read the fine print because you're going to get what you pay for. And unfortunately, that's not the best product, in my opinion. It is up to you, okay? The choice is yours. You are the customer here, and you don't have to fly them at all. You can walk, take the bus, or just don't travel. If Spirit and Frontier is your only option, I'm going to go with Spirit. But if it's West Coast, I might do Frontier. Those $20 flights are hard to pass up. As always, you know that this is a solo travel channel, but it's also a budget travel channel. I feel that every person should have the accessibility to travel on their own budget. You are still going to get to the same destination if you are on Spirit and Frontier as if you were doing the big three, Delta, United, American Airlines. Don't let anyone travel shame you for flying Spirit or Frontier. We all are travelers, okay? Do you agree with me? Do you think that Spirit is better than Frontier? Please let me know. I'm sure you will in the comments, as you guys always do. I enjoy reading the comments, especially when people go back and forth about airlines. If you have friends or family who are on the fence about flying Spirit or Frontier, go ahead and share this video with them. Please let them know about my channel. I appreciate all of you guys being here, especially my subscribers. I love y'all so much. If you are new to the channel, this is your first video, go ahead, like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Thank y'all again, and I'm going to see you next time.